What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Mylan. Get those questions ready because we're about to go live talking about the latest in marketing, B2B marketing, B2C, and we're here to just share all of our knowledge, the secrets we do here at Mylan Media, the #1 marketing agency out there.
And I brought with me the fire extinguisher.
Cold email marketing is actually increasing.
The big AI updates that HubSpot released.
Shifting some of your budget into that AI overview summary. If they don't trust you, it does not matter how good your process is. I've got a YouTube channel with over 2,000 videos on it. We post content every single day, and the purpose here is to bring you guys stuff that we do at a marketing agency level for a lot of clients at scale and bring you guys that knowledge so that you can adapt it into your processes, learn from us. This is what we do here at Mylan Media. We help companies increase their revenue with all sorts of marketing, whether it's web, SEO, automation, paid media, everything under the sun. We're here to deliver content for you that you can apply today. What's up, guys? It's Tuesday, not Wednesday, because the video team has some travel tomorrow, so we had to bump this live up. And if you guys are new to the content or you're watching this on replay, head over to YouTube when you get a chance, type my name in, subscribe to that channel, turn on notifications and all that stuff, because we got thousands of videos out there. What are those videos about? Videos are about sales, marketing, growth, business operations, ownership. If you're looking to make more money, does not matter what your business is, what we do is bring you content that you can apply today. This is not theory. This is not, hey, build this system and it's going to take you 6 months to do. My whole goal is to be able to provide people education and content that they can apply today based on what we do here at Mylan Media at a vast scale for lots of clients. And so you should be able to take something away from this live, even if it's just one little piece. Put some comments in the comment section if you guys have questions. Doesn't matter if it's on this specific topic or not. If you are here live, put a comment in. We will get to it as soon as it pops up and answer your questions. And maybe it diverts us from the entire topic. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. So let's get into this today. So today's talking about where growth systems break, where you're trying to grow and scale and you've noticed, dude, this is broken. So when you look at it, it's only going to be one of really two things. Either you have a revenue issue or you have a operations issue. And so the first thing to look at is, and you got to be super subjective with it, because people always want to get defensive. If you're in operations or sales, you're like, it's not me, it's the other side. If you're the business owner, but you have a stronger operations side versus the sales and marketing side, you may naturally be like, it's not this, it's that. So be super subjective. Look at your business and say, what is the core issue? Now, hopefully you've set up KPIs and your team is tracking stuff, but it doesn't even matter if you're a single solopreneur and you're a single operator and it's just you doing the work. There's always going to be some type of constraint, some bottleneck, some choking system that is going to limit how fast you can grow, how much you can grow. And we're here to try and uncover some of those things for you. So if you've got a growth issue or you know somebody that does, put a question in the comments and we'll go through it. So looking at it, if it's from an operation standpoint, like there's only so much that you can do. It does not matter if you have a physical product that costs $1 million to make, or you have a service that is, I don't know, $1,000. None of that stuff matters, because they're all going to roughly cover the same, like you're roughly going to run into the same thing. Going from $100,000 a year in revenue to $3 million a year in revenue, you're going to run into certain issues. Going from 3 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 50, 100 million and north of that. There's all of these constraint points as you grow and scale that you run into, and they're all basically around the same thing of we can't make or do our service or make our product enough for the demand, or we have issues from a quality standpoint with our product or our service. And so it's going to fall into one of those two things. So if you don't have a sales issue, you've got enough people coming in, but you have a deliverability issue, and I don't mean literally delivering, I mean providing the service, selling the piece of equipment, selling the integration system, selling the software. You have people that need it, but then when you go and actually apply it or implement it, or the customer experience side of it, something breaks. And I've dealt with this for the last 11 years that I've owned this agency. You get customers in, you start working through the customers and onboarding them. You start, shipping the product, so to speak, offering up the service, and then something happens where it was either a person thing or a system thing, but something chokes the system out, provides a bad service, isn't as smooth as you want it to be, etc. And then you look at it and you say, okay, how do I prevent this from happening in the future? So on the operations side, it's really going to come down to either you have a people problem or you have like a systems process problem. And the best way to look at it is that sometimes people always want to go to the process in the system and be like, oh, we can make it better, we can make it faster. Sometimes people just go down to the people side and say, well, it's this person. But you have to be able to identify the root cause of the issue, and you can't always be chasing everything. And so if it is an operations side, again, whether it's a product or a service, if it's a product, maybe it's the quality of the stuff that you're sending out, the quality of whatever it is that you're making, the supply chain, the QC checks that you have, the level of the quality that you hold to people that are making that thing for you, or various components for you. Then you have to raise the bar and raise the standard. Same thing on the people side. If you've got people that are building your equipment, people that are service techs, etc., like you may have to raise the bar. If you're doing like maintenance or service related services to, let's say, B2B, and the quality of your service and the quality of your service techs and people that are going out there isn't at the highest level, then you're going to naturally run into issues. So that's more of a people problem. So the people problem standpoint, you don't have to say like, okay, I'm just going to wipe this entire team out and rebuild it fresh. No, what you do is when it comes to people problems, you say, okay, I'm going to hire a new person into this because I just got rid of Steve and Steve wasn't a good service guy. And so I have to replace him. Or possibly Steve just leaves because he's like, I don't like it here anymore and I've got a better job opportunity. Before you hire that next person in, you just need to ask yourself the question, and we do this here, is that by adding that person, if you look at the entire score of the team, so you rank every person on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say you have a bunch of 7s and 8s. If you add that person into the mix, does that person's score overall increase the average of the team or not? And sometimes it's okay to not necessarily increase the average. Let's say you've got a bunch of 7s and 8s and you bring in somebody that's less experienced, but have other areas that are strong, and you're like, they're a 5. You have to be okay with the overall average of your team reducing. Versus if you're like, I'm just looking for A players, I need to grow, this is a massive issue of mine, the people side, and this is what's breaking my business, then you just say, I'm only going to go after 8s and 9s. I need somebody that's going to increase the overall average, whether it's performance, attitude, culture, etc. I'm going to bring somebody that's going to increase the overall average of that department because I need to rely on them tremendously, and they're the thing that is holding back my growth. Now, the flip side on the operations of actually making the product, is it a system or a process? Have you still been using systems that you've used for years just because that's how you've always done it? Have you not adapted to new technology? Have not made like conscious level of improvement into your operations to say like, hey, we've been using this system because this is what I could afford 4 years ago, but we've grown 2x, 3x, 5x, and now I need to upgrade my system. As much as that sucks, I need to upgrade my system. Maybe it's your ERP, maybe it's your CRM. Does not matter what system is, but you need to look at it and be like, is it time? Is this single thing a system or a process holding me back from my growth? And you have to be super subjective about it, or objective about it, super objective, and just be like, without putting my own emotion into it, is this hindering me? Now, on the flip side, which a lot of people come here to talk about, which is the sales and marketing side. So from a sales standpoint, if that is the issue, if you're saying, hey, we can make as much as we need regardless of demand, and we can service as many, if somebody came to me and said, I've got 10 machines that are down, I need 10 service calls in the next 2 days, you're like, I can do that with my company, my service team, the process, the way we schedule it, the quality of the service that we provide to clients, I can do that, I can handle it. Then maybe you have a sales and marketing issue. Now, breaking that down, no different than people and operations, and people goes across the board, sales and marketing. Breaking that down from a sales and marketing standpoint, either you have an issue closing and selling the actual business and closing the people on to become a client, or you have an issue getting attention. And both of those are two drastic things. And it comes down to, are you tracking the KPIs and the metrics on a close basis, let's say a weekly basis? Are you holding the team accountable? And there's so many things you can do with AI to help speed that up, but are you holding the team accountable to those weekly metrics and goals and having them report those numbers and having meetings with them and understanding, what are we trying to do this month, this week, this day? Are you doing those things first? And if you're not, that's an area to start. Is we're going to set up KPIs for every single person or for every single vertical. And in marketing, it could be super simple. Paid media, we're looking for conversions and cost per conversion. And on social side, we're looking for impressions and leads from it. It doesn't matter what the vertical is, but you've got those KPIs. And on the sales side, you're looking at how many conversations are you having? So like sales level activity, outbound attempts from the sales team. How many leads are you generating from that? How many deals are you quoting, and what's your win-loss ratio? So as long as you start tracking that, again, if you're not tracking it, you need to do it today, because without the data, doesn't matter if it's sales, marketing, people, operations, without any sort of data to track it, you can't possibly say without a reasonable doubt that this is the thing that's causing the issue. And so if we take 10 steps back, every decision, for the most part, in your business or your department or your team, you should try and make with actual data, because it removes the subjectiveness out of it. So if you can say, like, this is our goal. So like for Luke here behind the camera, if it's like Luke needs to produce, let's just say Luke does videos, but we don't say how many he should do a week, then Luke's going to be like, yeah, dude, I'm doing videos. I did 3 last week. That's good. But if the goal from the person is like, you should be doing 30, then Luke doesn't know that he's not hitting the goal. So he has to understand, what is his goal? How long should it take him to do these videos? How many videos should he produce? And then you get into the subjectiveness of quality, right? What should the quality standard be? What he thinks is good, what I think is good, what 10 other people think is good, could be completely different. And so that's subjectiveness of creative. But you need to make sure that the team understands the goals and the verticals understand the goals of, like, this is our goal. We're trying to get 10 conversions per week from paid media. We're trying to get a cost per acquisition, or CPA, of $87.42. That's our goal. Right now we're at $140 to get a conversion into a lead. As long as the team understands that, hey, our goal is not to go from 150, 180 down to 80. Our goal is to get there eventually over 12 months, but we want to see incremental growth going down into that direction. That's how you're going to measure it. So if you have an issue getting attention, most likely it's because the channels and the verticals that you're doing with your marketing are not being tracked and measured close enough to say, hey, this isn't working. We need to shift our attention. And this happens here within our 4 walls. We meet with a potential customer. We say, hey, based on your goals, based on your business, based on how you're set up and your competition, this is the verticals that we need to do to get you towards your goals or to accomplish what your mission is for the next 12 months. And sometimes it doesn't work. We say, here's 4 verticals we're doing, but maybe one of the verticals for that client in that industry with that market and what they're doing, it just doesn't work the way that we want it to. It's not that it doesn't work at all, but it's just not scaled up enough. If we want to get 10 leads from cold email and you only get 1, then that's not working. And after you've tried different things, then that's where you have to say, like, that's not working. Should we shift attention to something else? And we do this here all the time because we're always looking at the data. The data is going to tell the story of if something's working or not. And if you're trying to grow and you're in that choking point, then you have to break through those walls quickly. Otherwise, before you know it, it's 12, 24, 36 months. And you're looking at everybody in the room being like, why haven't we grown? It's like, well, we have all these little micro issues. So if you're not getting enough attention, look at those verticals and be objective with the KPIs and be like, is this going in the right direction? Have we had setbacks? Are there things that are hindering our growth in that vertical? Or is it time to say, hey, you know what, that vertical, let's shift our attention off of it and put it towards the other ones that are producing enough attention, enough leads, enough converted opportunities for the sales team. On the sales side, you have to look at it and say, am I getting enough leads inbound? So, okay, if marketing's doing their job and you're getting leads, but when these leads come in, the first question you have to ask yourself is this quality leads? Or is this just tire kickers or people that aren't serious, don't have a need right now, or they're not a fit for some reason, whatever the reason is, they're just not a fit. If they're not a fit, then you have to pass that information back to marketing and be like, yeah, you guys think that you're doing good, but when I convert, you guys bring me a lead. Our conversion from a marketing qualified lead to a sales qualified lead, or MQL to SQL, isn't there. Like we're not even at 50%. We're at like 12% of converting. Then that means that the messaging and everything that the marketing team's doing is slightly off. They're bringing in the wrong people. So as long as they know the adjustments to make, then that's how you're going to be able to identify what's causing your business to break, what's causing your growth system to break, and then make that adjustment and then track and measure it. Can we go from 12% MQL to SQL conversion to 25 to 48? Are you tracking on a weekly basis? What's the scorecard that you're looking at? So identify those KPIs and then hold the team accountable to hitting it as you run into issues. So let's say that's not the issue. Let's say the issue is they bring the leads in, the leads are converting. I'm having initial conversations with them and I'm like, yeah, the problem that you have, I can solve with whatever it is, your service or your product. I can solve it. Okay, cool. Then you go and try and close that client and move them along. That could also be a massive breaking point with growth, is that you don't have an inbound issue. You don't have a shipping the product or doing the service issue. You have a converted deal issue. Your sales team can't close. And even still, once you peel back the layers of that onion, is it that they can't close because of timing, because of pricing, because of the quality of the product? Is the person not completely sold on it? Are they doing a bad job up front of identifying the root cause of the issue that the person's trying to solve? And it doesn't matter if they're looking for a piece of equipment to solve it or a service to solve it. Are you not asking enough questions to have that discovery call to identify the root issue and then offer them up the right solution to it? We've had clients in the past that they are very fast to quote, where they're like, dang, dude, they're doing like, let's say, I don't know, 100 quotes a month. And it's like, dang, we're getting leads in from marketing and the team's quoting them. But then we look at their close percentage, and their close percentage is less than 5%. And the management team comes to me and is like, I think we've got an issue. And it's like, yeah, you do. But it's not from a marketing standpoint. It doesn't appear to be. It appears you have an issue with your sales team being able to close. And if we really look at all the data, this is what I ended up doing, is looked at all the data and said, your guys are way too fast to quote. It's like somebody says, I'm interested, and they're like, here's a price that's already sent in your inbox, which some people may be like, hey, you can't close somebody if they don't have a contract. Sure, true. But you also, if you're too fast to offer them that up, then you didn't do enough discovery to them. When they get it, to them, it's just a piece of paper. It's not a solution. You haven't built enough trust. And trust is always the most important thing in closing, is that the person has to trust that you're going to solve their problem for them. If you don't go through that process, then they're not going to have the trust. You're going to send them a quote and then you can't close them. So as you look through it, maybe it's not that issue at all. Maybe it's just a timing thing. Is like the competition can get them their machine or their service in 2 days or 2 months, whereas you guys are 8 days and 6 months. And so that then is like, hey, it looked like it was a sales issue, but actually this is an operations issue. So it's not sales and marketing, it's operations. Operations guys, for us to be competitive, we have to be able to provide the product to them, not in 6 months. Everybody else is doing it in 6 weeks. We got to be able to be competitive and say, can we get it down to like 7 or 8 weeks or 6 weeks like everybody else? And then that's on the operations side to then figure out, that's what's causing the growth to break in their business, is they're not able to provide the product or the service fast enough. So if it's 8 days versus 2, maybe you need more service techs, maybe you need more installation people, maybe you need more demo people, whatever it is. So that's an operations issue. So sales keep doing what you're doing, marketing keep doing what you're doing, you're bringing in the leads, but operations doesn't have the ability to be able to provide the service or product fast enough for them. And they have to go through the process. When are we getting this stuff? Can we hold inventory? Is it a systems issue? Is it a process issue? Is it too long for this person? Is it a people issue? We always rely on Steve because Steve's the expert. And so Steve's got a big workload. Okay, do I need 5 more Steves? Because if I had 5 more Steves, which who doesn't like 5 more Steves, then we can do things faster and produce a better product or ship it out faster. So don't get pigeonholed with just going down one path. It's always at the core root cause analysis of it. And if you ask why, 5 times, 7 times, 10 times, so you get to there is no more whys. It's always going to be either a generating revenue standpoint or producing what it is that you're trying to produce. It's one of those 2 buckets. That's not rocket science. But I can tell you that no company has ever failed because it generated too much revenue. Companies usually fail with what they do with that revenue and then what they do with the quality of their product. So you can have a great product and a great business, and you start skimping out and cutting corners and trying to make it cheaper, lighter, etc. if it's a physical product. And then the quality decreases, and then the market says, nah, we don't like that anymore. And then you're out of business. So it's generally going to be either sales, marketing side or operations side. But then from there, it's either going to be, is this a people issue or is this a process accountability systems issue? As long as you can go down those rabbit holes and be like, hey, I'm just going to uncover this and then implement a solution that you know based on research, based on what you think, get valuable feedback from the team, based on what they say, is this going to actually solve my problem? That is the best way to figure out, okay, this is what's breaking in the growth. I'm trying to get to here and I'm not getting there. This is the root cause. I'm going to focus on this area for the next 3 to 6 months to solve it. And then I'll be able to go on about what I normally do. It's no different than what we do here. If we have an issue internally, my accountability may be one thing, but then when we have an issue, I may have to be like, hey, for the next 90 days, I am knee deep in this, solving this problem and implementing a solution. And that's all I'm going to do for the next 90 days. And I'm going to not touch what I normally do. And then once that's solved, then I can go back to what I'm normally doing. And so identifying those things, putting together a form of an action plan, holding people accountable to milestones. And then once you implement that change, does not matter if it's sales, marketing, people, operations. Once you implement that change, make sure you're measuring the results of that change to be able to say, did this work? Because we can all think that something's going to work, but until you actually implement it, you're not going to know. And then start measuring that to see if that did actually solve your problem. But growth is nothing easy. It doesn't matter if you've been on top and been at 40 to 80 to $1 billion a year. At some point, something's going to hinder your growth. Something's going to take you 2 steps back. That's just the nature of business. That's the nature of life, is as you get 10 steps ahead, something's going to happen that's going to drag you back. But it's how you react to that and say, hey, you know what? This is just part of business. It's either going to be one of these core areas. Let's dig into it, figure out a solution, and then move on from there. Implement it, test and measure, keep measuring, and then make adjustments from there. That's the only way to get around it. We got any comments or questions, Luke? We got nothing because we spurred this up last minute. If you guys are watching this on replay, put a comment in the comment section. If you are dealing with a growth issue where you're like, dude, I'm just stuck, or you just want to know from a sounding board standpoint, hey, we're having this issue. Have you seen other people have this issue? Put it in the comment section and I will personally answer it. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on notifications, follow me on LinkedIn, pay attention to these live events that we're doing because it's a great opportunity to get your questions answered. And I will see you guys on the next one.